Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator Core Stylized 3D model, and I messed up a little bit. I actually moved this wall and I didn't put it back. Let's grab this wall then, so Shift D, let's just grab it. Let's spin it around, so RZ 90, and let's then put that one in place. So back, in you go to where I want you. Also, I'm also gonna need a bottom on here as well, so I might as well fix that while I'm here. Just gonna put this back into place. I'm gonna press S and Y. Like so, and there's my wall back in. And now what we'll do is we'll bring this part down, Shift D, spin it round, so R, Y, 90, and let's drop it back into place in here. And I think I've gone too far on there, so I'm just going to pull it that way. And now it's going to be hidden in there, which is absolutely fine. And now let's actually think about this top part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come, grab this part here, I'm going to press Shift D, bring it up, and we can see that's two parts, so we don't want to use that. Well, we want to use this bottom one, Shift D, bring it up, and then let's spin it around, so R, Y, 90, R, Z, 180, and then S and Y, and just pull it out all the way over there, and then let's just sit it on top of this one here, and again you can see making it look a little bit different. You can see though that this now needs to come up a little bit, so we're going to pull it up into place, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this one, Shift D, and I'm going to bring that up, bring it up, spin it around, so RZ 180, put that one in place. I don't want it to be quite this far out on this part. I want it to be probably a little bit back, so I'm going to press S and X like so, just again make it look a little bit different. I'm actually going to pull that up just so it's there. Yeah, and I think I'm happy with that. And now we need one of these parts, so I'm going to press Shift D, bring this over and drop this into this corner here, and then I'm going to spin it round, so RZ 90, and make sure that's actually fitting in place. Double tap the A, and that's what I'm looking at, and I'm thinking I need to squish this up just a tiny bit more, so I'm going to grab this, S and Z, like so, and then this wall, of course, I need to pull back a little bit, so I'm going to grab it, pull it into place, and whew, finally, we're nearly there on this part. Alright, we might as well put this other piece of wall in as well, so I'm going to grab this smaller one, Shift D, bring it over, RZ 90. We're going to press Control 1 to go to the rear of the building. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press S and X, pull it out, and put that into place right about there. All right, last bit then is we'll actually grab this one. We'll press Shift D, we'll bring it up, we'll press S and Z, and just drop it into place in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'll actually delete this off as well. So I'm going to delete that part of the gray box off. And now I can see that I need to move this forward, and I also will need to move this one forward as well. And there we go, all of those parts now, except this part, because this grey box is a little bit out. Pull that out like so. Okay, so this is the main part of the door. Now I think we should actually look at now the size of the door. I'm thinking it's probably at the moment a little bit too small. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab both of these, S and Y, and just pull them out a tiny bit, and then move them just over into place. And I think that's going to be a little bit better, because once we've got the wooden parts on here, it's going to fit a little bit different. Okay, so now we've got our wall. We've got all of these walls actually. Now what I want to do is I want to actually unwrap this wall again. So I'm going to press Control 3. I'm going to press Tab, A, U, unwrap. And let's just unwrap the wall again. And now I can see that's looking a ton better. Let's unwrap both of these at the same time. So Tab, U, unwrap. And there we go. And let's also, while we're here, just unwrap these two as well. U, unwrap. And there we go. Now the one thing I'm thinking is that's still not unwrapped properly. I'm actually, instead of doing that, going to grab all of these. Press Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. And then I'm just going to see if I press Control and 3. Tab, U, unwrap. Yeah, now it's unwrapped there, so there we go. Let's unwrap these two again at the same time, so unwrap, And let's also unwrap. We shouldn't get that blurriness that we've got there. So unwrap, like so. All right, I'm going to just save my workout. And now we can actually make a start, finally, on this actual door. So I'm going to grab my cube here. First things first, I want to make sure that it's going back far enough. So I can see here it's going back, you know, this far. I can see through there. And I'm thinking if it goes back that far, I can actually put a door on there. And I think that will be absolutely fine. Okay, so now we've got that. Let's actually come to this wall. So I'm going to come to this wall. I'm going to add in a modifier. I'm going to pick a Boolean, which I think, let's see, there we are, generate Boolean. And the one thing we want to pick is this cube here. That's going to be our Boolean. I always tick on fast because I feel like it makes a much better cut in the wall. On this occasion though, it looked as though it was actually trying to join to the wall. So instead of doing that, what I'm going to do is I want to put on difference. Let's have a look. Union, intersect, difference. Yes, difference. Let's press Control A. And now I want to just pull this out. So if I pull this out, what are we actually left with? And that is what we're left with. All right, so the next thing then, I want to actually delete this off, this gray box. So delete that off. And now I've got a nice solid place to actually bring this back. So how far is this going to come up? Let's have a look. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, grab each of these. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press E and X and pull them back to where actually I want them now. So I think I want it probably around that far, far back. And then what I'm going to do now straight away is I'm going to grab these and mark a seam. So I'm going to mark a seam on each of these. And then I'm going to right click, mark a seam. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into face select, Alt Shift click just to select them all, U, unwrap. And then I've got my walls all done now, ready for me for my door. Now with this part here, I want to actually use this to create my actual door. So I'm going to first of all create the parts coming down. So I'm going to use the wood going around here, and then at the back as well. So the easiest way I'm going to do that is I'm going to first of all press Control 3. I'm then going to come in with face select. So face select, and I want to press Control R, 2, left click, right click, and then I'm going to pull them out. So S and Y, pull them out. If they're not pulling out, make sure you're on medium point. S and Y, pull them out. Get the right thickness. These are going to be the thickness of your actual parts at the side. So you can see this is how thick they're going to be. And then what you want to do then is one last one. So Control 3, Control R, and bring it up to the thickness of the top, like so. All right, I'm happy with that. Now from this, I can turn off my X-ray. And what I can do is I can actually bring all of these out. So just these three, Shift D, bring them out. And then this one here, Shift D, bring it out. And then we can finally get rid of this. So L, delete, vertices, get rid of it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have one more. So I'm going to select this, Shift D. And you'll see why I'm doing that all in a minute. All right, so now we can bring our guy back and we can check out how big the door is going to be. So you can see this is where the door is. You can see now his head is not going to bang on the top. These doors, though, they would have been a little bit smaller on the back for sure. And you can see no one walks around with their arms out like that, you know, unless you're a big bodybuilder or something. So, you know, he's going to fit in this doorway pretty easily. It's going to be a thin door regardless. Okay, so let's now bring the wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all of these. So these here, I'm going to press Y and split them off. Grab both of these then. And then I can press E and pull them out. And hopefully I can make this a door jaw. So now I've got all that. I want to split both of these off first. So I'm going to split this one off. P selection. P selection. And there we go. Now let's think about our actual door. So we'll come back to our door now, or our door arch. Control A, all transforms, right click, set origin to geometry. And then we're going to add in a modifier and we're going to add in a bevel, turn it all the way down, turn it up one. And there we go. Now let's come into the front and just pull these out. So pull them out like so. And we can also, we don't need these little edge loops on here as well. So we can just press delete, limited dissolve, and delete those off. Okay, so that's my first door jaw. Now what we want to do is we want to actually put this into place, and then we want to actually create a door, and we want to create a handle. The reason why we've done this, so this one is going to be our actual door, and this one is going to be the back of it where it's going to be a little bit black. It's going to be black on the back of it, just so we can't see through the back, because we don't want anything like that. So with this one, basically, we can make it a little bit wider. So SY, make it a little bit wider, make it a little bit bigger as well, SZ, and then that's going to fit right on the back of there. Okay, so on the next lesson then, what we'll do is we'll get our materials in. We might randomize these a little bit just to make them a little bit different, and then we'll make a start on the door, and I'll show you a really easy technique to create doors. Okay everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.